Anyway, hello Ciaran, how are you?
Hi, good, and you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Thank
Welcome
you for
to
having me
our
on your channel.
welcome on my first podcast with Mr. Wheeler.
Welcome on my first
Is this
podcast.
our first podcast?
I feel like I podcast with you every day for like the
Sorry,
whole day.
I'm struggling with multitasking. That's why I was doing something else. So I'll try just to keep my hands still and not do anything else but talk to you.
I think you got coronavirus.
Well, we can go test coronavirus now just around the corner where you can buy the kits apparently for very cheap and you can get tested within 10 minutes.
There by you.
I don't know how legit that is, but yeah, we got the message on our...
What, they spray you with a can of doom. And then you cure.
While you get coronavirus, you buy masks and sanitizer at the same time at a really, really expensive rate. So you could be tested for corona immediately and they test you positive, and then you can buy a mask immediately just to save yourself and the people around you.
And in Kempton, eh?
It's a bit of awkward silence there. But anyway, yeah. So I think this coronavirus got us all into a panic in just over a week, I think. I mean, we were still talking about it and not really taking it as serious and even joking about it, to be honest, about businesses going to carry on with and
remember
where we are.
Like 2 weeks ago, our first client came forward to say the end of the world is coming. Prepare yourself. And we kind of still sat because I think we were organizing FRM. We still sat and looked at each other and were like, I don't think that's never the case, because generally we understand the media to blow everything out of proportion. And 2 weeks down the line, look at where we're sitting. So it's quite scary.
Yeah, it is very scary. But I also think that it's something that, you don't want to take serious, because it's not reality until it's reality.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But now we're here and we got to deal with it, and it's quite serious. Especially.
How does it affect?
Quite.
I know the people watching might not know.
Yeah, it's quite drastically. I mean, all of everything that I have been involved with, and that's added financial benefit to my life, has come to a complete still, which is quite scary. And it's definitely something that's stressful, and it's something that we've got to deal with on a daily basis. But I'm also got a little bit of hope, and I do believe that we need to listen about what's happening outside. I think the news is the worst thing to watch every day, because it will just make you so negative.
Stressful.
Sure, it's stressful, and if you want to make the best of this situation, and you want to bring out the positive in this, the last thing that I suggest is watch the news. Not completely not watch it, but just watch it when it's necessary, and focus.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, they've started to, like, when I think the government started to clamp down on the distribution of information, obviously because there was a lot of fake news. Then I think from the day they announced that they were clamping down on people like that, they channeled all the information from the specialists through the government communications. I've noticed that every day they've like pushed the release of the numbers out and out and out and out, and now we get them kind of like once a day. So Britain we've just agreed to not watch the news or not see anything until once, like sort of in the evening when we sit down to eat, because otherwise I was sitting stressing my balls off about what to do, how we stuff financially, and then thinking about the business, and I just have a fucking heart attack. So I'd rather just carry on, trying to be as productive as possible.
Very true. And the thing is, if you're not gonna block yourself on not watching the news, it will drag you down. It will make you negative. It will take all the positivity thoughts away from you. And for me, what I'm doing, I'm luckily surrounded with people the whole time, like my wife and my kids. And then obviously my passion is training, and I'm making sure that is my priorities, and that's stuff that I need to do every day. And then talking to my clients, which is the most important thing, trying to keep them all motivated and positive during this time, because I think everybody is uncertain. That's like nobody, you can't take this away from anybody. Everybody is uncertain, even myself, even you, and we don't know what the future is going to hold for us on a personal level, on a business level, on a emotional level, on whatever level you might think of. But at the end of the day, your thoughts are you are still in control of your thoughts. And that's why making sure that what you're good at is your priority, focusing on that. Because my thing is just, if you're going to back down now and you're going to be that negative person and you're going to step away from what you're good at, the people that works with you, business-wise, personally, your close connections, it's all going to spread like a virus. What you give out is what you're going to get. And
for sure.
I know for a fact that if you're going to have that positive energy with the people that you work with, you are going to keep them motivated and you're going to keep them positive, because this is going to blow over. And they are going to be the first people that's going to come back to you because you kept grinding and you were still positive. And, it's going to blow over. I don't know how long this will take.
Well, that's the problem. For me, it's not necessarily just about it blowing over. It's the fact that this, where does
surviving.
It end? Yeah, that's the thing. And obviously we're in a fortunate position where chances are we're going to survive longer than the majority of people, but that doesn't stop it from being a big problem. By the way, I've just put us live on my Facebook. I don't know. Just trying to test out the streaming. I
think that's very important, especially with my clients. Like, I'm so happy that they're all still positive. I've done a quick home workout, which is something completely out of my comfort zone as well, because I don't train like that. And, I had to do a bit of research, and, everybody is anyway posting everything on Instagram, home workouts. So I'm sure there's more than enough information out there for anybody that wants to do homework. But it's my priority to, give my clients my personal knowledge, even though it's something out of my comfort zone. And they love it. I mean, you can go on my Instagram and you can see everybody is sharing it and posting it, which is great. I think it's just people want that support. It's not necessarily you giving them a home workout. They just want to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We're all united and we're going to do this together as a team. And when this blows over, those people are going to remember that you were the person that helped them and kept them positive and taking them through this whole journey that we're all going through at the moment.
Yeah, I think a lot of the way that people react now is going to be remembered, because I think people don't realize that, like, during crisis is when the true colors come out, and there is, after a crisis. And I think especially after this crisis, people are not going to forget. Especially us, if you consider our business, we're very lucky. Like, we've got good people that we're in partnership with in terms of our clients. We've got good creditors, except the banks, because they're not the greatest in South Africa, I don't think. Especially with the support.
I mean, let's hope they come to the party. I've got a good feeling that we will be surprised by what they will do.
Well, I think eventually we'll be forced into it, because at the end of the day, if a whole country, and I mean, if you can look at the rest of the world, if our whole country can't afford things, there's going to be big problems. I saw the other day on the news that people in Italy are literally breaking into shops just to feed themselves. And
that's the first
we were there.
Right?
Well, we were there how long? Like a year ago.
Just a year and 3 months. But the thing is, like, let's talk about Italy. Like, we've been there and we know how well that country is run. Like, and that is.
You look at us.
I mean, I sent you the screenshot. We can probably post it on here as well. Of how many? I think it's 1,000 people. 990 people died yesterday, and they've got over 10,000. Over 10,000 deaths already.
I'll check the numbers now quickly. They were on, every day they average between 750 and 990 deaths. And it's kind of, I said to Bruyn as well the other day, like, because I follow the numbers every single day just to see sort of the trend and where things are going. At the moment, we're on 741,000, almost 742,000 cases worldwide, 35,337 deaths. And then, so like Italy are on total deaths of 10,700, so they'll probably cross 11,000 today. Yesterday, they had 756 deaths, and they added 5,000. So they're averaging about between 5 and 8, 9,000 people, new cases every day. And one of the scary things, if you look at South Africa and what they've said, is that we're actually ahead of them in terms of where they were. And our biggest problem is that we live in a very unequal society with a lot of people on top of one another. And those people don't have access to healthcare and stuff. And they also can't not move around. So although there's a lockdown, they all need to get water. They all need to get food. They all don't have money. So what happens when there's no money, there's no water, and there's no food? Like, there's a big problem. And now they're starting to get, I know they got Khayelitsha had a case, Alexandra had a case. Now Alexandra is here down the road from where we live. It's between you and me. It's Alexandra.
Yeah.
What happens when you've got millions of people, or hundreds of thousands, I think, in Alex? I'm not sure if there's a few million, in such a confined space that don't have access to anything. I keep saying that they're not going to really care about the virus. It's going to be bigger problems. They'll take their chances.
The thing is, I don't think they don't care.
Well, there's just a different living is a bigger priority than disease.
Yeah,
we'll take
surviving for them is day to day to survive. And the thing is, how many of those people have access to news? How many of those people have access to radio? How many of those people have access to communication of what's actually happening in the world out there? So, like, I feel sorry for them because I don't blame them. And they also, like, how long are you going to stay in a shack that's a meter by 2 meters? Like, it's just impossible to going to keep that in control.
And there's also so many people with such a small armed force. Well, the way they find out the news is they take a look out the door and there's a soldier standing there, ready to beat them.
So immediately they feel intimidated because they probably don't know what's happening, to be honest. And it's problematic because they are going to be the problem, but the problem is more on the government side, because how are they going to handle a situation like that? Because of the lack of knowledge. How do you not
foresee it? That's my thing. It's like, yes, okay, there's a lockdown, but like I was saying, like, I don't think the financial support thing is what it's cut out to be. I mean, today they literally they give out social grants every month. That SASA thing. Now, don't forget that we've got a hell of a lot of illegal immigrants that don't have access to any of that, and they're just in the same situation. So there's that problem. Then you've got the social grants today. They were supposed to go and collect them, and people line up for hours. So there goes the social distance thing. So on the weekend, they were interviewing people in those lines. They said, "Why can't you keep a meter?" And they were saying, "Well, people just push in," which is like a cultural thing. Like, it's just the way they work, I guess. Especially when you got nothing. And then
we also brought up in a country like that. So.
Yeah. But they ran out of money. So you have these people standing there. Now they got to go and stand again. But they don't have money to get there and back. They don't even, like, a guy was shouting at the news anchor the other day while they were interviewing him on the street, saying, like, "Why are you on the street?" And he was like, "Here's the money." He took like 8 rand out of his pocket. Now, 8 rand is, what's that, like, in dollars? It's like half a dollar, like, not even 50 cents. and that's what he has to last for 21 days. So he's like, "I don't care about your problem. Like, I need to feed myself." So, but anyways, that's weird. It's pessimistic, or it's negative, no matter how you look at it. But I'm just worried about business.
That's what I want to say. Like, we got to keep positive, and we know what's happening, and we're fortunate enough to have the opportunity to figure it out, where a lot of people don't. Even if it comes to a point where, we're all gonna end up there, but until then, we gotta make it happen, and we gotta keep positive and just push forward. And focus on what we can change and not what we can't change. I think that's the most important thing.
Well, yeah. exactly.
And the positive about this whole thing is
you get to bond with your kids.
Yeah, when have you ever been in a position to be home the whole time and spending time with your loved ones and having that opportunity?
Well, I think for you,
and also have a reflection of what's happening in your life, and trying to just put that puzzle together. I mean, I'm talking about myself. I feel like everybody should feel the same way.
Well, I don't know. I'm in a little bit of a different situation because obviously we've got the business and staff. This also coincided with our provisional tax for year end. We've just been registered for VAT. That's a 15% knock. Obviously, they're giving these tax incentives and stuff, but we're still liable for everything. And the problem is revenue is an issue. So I'm stressing a hell of a lot about just the functioning of everything and how we're going to get through this. And then obviously, because I manage the business, I've got to make sure that all of these structural things fall into place, and we try to look after everyone as much as possible. And then on the flip side is I do all the video editing and social media stuff. And for some of our clients, I'm the key contact. So I've constantly got people wanting something from me, needing something from me. Fires, obviously at the moment, fires are coming up everywhere. So I haven't, even on the weekend, I mean, when did we have it? We had chatted on the weekend at night, I work through the night. And I just don't feel like I have a break, mentally and whatever. So it's tough, but yeah, we kind of starting to formulate a plan. So
there should be one that's got that power, and that's you. I mean, I would love to help you when it comes to recording, editing and stuff. You can swing it my way, but I doubt it's going to be a great success.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we all fill each other up, and when it comes to the business, and it's a tough time. I would love to be involved more when it comes to where the pressure points are for you.
Yeah,
but it's just
one of those things. I've got the experience, and that's why.
As long as you keep that head screwed on, then I'm happy.
Last time I checked.
But and other than that, I think there's a lot happening, and we all have to. I think everybody is in the same situation, in their own little world, and I think we all have the same stress, the same concerns. But I do believe that we all get through this. And the thing is, the positive thing for me is when you look at everything happening at the moment, you're not the only one going through it.
Everyone is. That's why I say I'm just at this point in time, I'm just hoping that I'm higher up on the food chain than the bottom when it falls out, because essentially that's when things really happen and the government starts to jump, and the institutions. So I've just got to hope that we're in a position that's above where the shit lies, so, which I think we are. But,
so tell me, are you at least keeping fit?
You saw me eating chocolate when we set up earlier. So
no, look, I'm not going to lie. The eating is a problem. And I'm constantly opening the fridge.
What are you eating? Yeah, because you get bored.
No, I'm eating, I'm still having my meals. Well, not all of my meals, I'm lying. But there would be two or three meals that's healthy, but I keep opening the fridge non-stop. I eat with the kids. Whatever is available, I'll eat, to be honest. And that's okay. The thing for me is, and that's for everybody that's watching, it's okay. The last thing you want to stress about now is what you eat. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's so I don't know about you, but I'm an emotional eater. That's why I've always been the fatter one of the three of us, because I stress and I just eat. And there goes a JDB top. And
a pregnant fairy.
Yeah, and a pregnant fairy, as you can see, my little elephant in the background there. So I sort of eat emotionally, and I have an emotional connection to food, so I do eat. But I have forced myself to start training. We've got a nice hill here at the house, and I do hill sprints at the moment it's every second day, because I haven't run in a while. And the last thing I want to do is, while we're on lockdown, injure myself, because I'm made of glass. So I've been doing that. Yeah, shadow boxing shadow boxing. That's the funniest because every morning I've got a guy living upstairs, and he's always for some reason he has a flipping call at like 8 every morning on his balcony, and the last thing I want to fucking do is stand in my garden boxing the oxygen like I'm fighting the invisible coronavirus like in my garden. I got like a Rocky
Vibes. Like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah, all I need is my hoodie and
you're probably motivating you. He's probably not going to come out anymore because he's going to see, shit, this guy's training so hard. I feel embarrassed. I'm rather just going to have to take the call inside. That's how he feels.
Well, I suppose the only thing he should be embarrassed about is the fact that he doesn't have a garden and I do. During coronavirus. Imagine being locked up in a building.
Positive thinking there. But yeah, like for me, it's like I'm trying to keep my clients positive in a way of the way they're going to eat. Like there is the guidelines that I want them to eat, but I'm also telling them to not really worry about having the odd meal or, you know, having a little bit of a snack, sweets there and there, as long as you've got like 3 to 4 solid meals. And your focus on those meals should always be clean and healthy, but also don't.
You know, I think you clients.
Say again.
You should. You know what I think you should do for your clients?
Yeah.
You should call it the boot camp and get them used to rationing their food, because when they've got no money, they'll be pros by the time this is over.
Yeah, I know.
Help them save money and change.
Yeah, so you know, my main focus with them now at the moment is like, don't let the food be your stress, but let the training be your stress. Like, do not neglect the training, and like eat what you want. You know, a lot of people are gonna.
Well, to a degree.
Like nobody is as extreme as what I am, and a lot of people in my industry that's, you know, very fitness orientated, and this is what I do for a living. Because like you said, you are an emotional eater, where like for me, I could force myself. Probably, yeah. But the training is the most important. Like, eat what you want, focus on having the thoughts in your head like healthy, but if it's not healthy, it's okay. But make sure that you go and give yourself an hour of training every day. Like, it's the least that you could do. And these programs that I've designed is completely out of my comfort zone, like I've mentioned, but it is mainly focused on cardiovascular. Hence the reason that not a lot of people got weights, not a lot of people got equipment at home.
Have you got equipment?
I don't have equipment. So
did you
my main focus with this was purely to use your body weight and make it a high intensity training. Like, you will still be doing like push-ups, sit-ups, using what you've got around the house, like the couch or whatever the case might be. You know, I'm lucky to have bands, and that's all I've got. But the way that I've worked this out is you have to consecutively go to every second workout until all of them is done, and that's the only time that you rest. And that will put a lot of strain on, not strain, but there's a lot of cardiovascular exercises in there, and your heart rate will go up, and that will boost your metabolism and help you to burn the calories and the fat, and that's the main focus. But it will still feel like you're going to train every single muscle group in your body, because each day is designed for that. And then I've got 2 head trainings where it's a mix of different exercises just to get your heart rate through the roof. Yeah, like I haven't put that in my program, but on the videos that I've posted on Instagram, you know, I do like flexing, stretching before each exercise, day exercise. So I think that's very important. So your focus is just to get your heart rate up.
Yeah.
Like a pee-pee.
What I wanted to say, are you sticking to your training program? You train every day? What time do you train at a specific time every day, or do you?
No, it's hard with the kids. So whenever I find a gap, I've got an hour. Well, I'm not even training an hour, to be honest, because, body weight is, and you're at the same spot the whole time. So your training session is much faster. I think I'm like 30 minutes to 40 minutes a day, whenever I get a gap. But my commitment to myself is just to make sure that I do it and I fit it in. But otherwise, yeah, I'm like, it's quite hectic being at home and keeping the kids entertained. And
that's an interesting thing. How are you having to face Instagram and marketing yourself, given that you're completely limited with where you can be?
Yeah. It's definitely not easy, but it definitely gives me the opportunity to think a little bit out of the box, which is nice. And I know a lot of people, like I check on Instagram, a lot of people get annoyed because everybody is posting home workouts. But for me, it's a positive thing, because these people are using the opportunity to motivate the people that follows them. Not everybody's got the same following. And I look at it as a positive thing, because those people are doing the effort to share their knowledge and motivating the people that follow them. Like if you get annoyed by people posting home workouts, then your mind is in a negative place. Like then why?
I think the thing is, because of the situation, people are already negative. So it probably just feeds into that. And like we've all know, I mean, especially with you, people online, they would never say a lot of the things that they say in front of people. But
I haven't really received any negative feedback whatsoever, but I have seen people that I follow that gets annoyed by people that posting home workouts.
But still, like that's always going to happen. But like one of the things that you're doing differently is you are conversing with your peers. Like now we're recording this, but you're going to do that with other people, and I think that's going to add value to your audience, because I think people can learn from these conversations more so than what they will get out of a training video. Although it's part of your daily life, so you carry on with that, but you sort of sweeten it up with content like this. And I suppose for your own sanity, it's also good to speak to your peers. So it's like a two-way street.
And the thing is, I'm going to train, and whatever I do on a daily life, I always put it on Instagram. So I'm going to put my home workouts on Instagram. And yesterday was fun. Yesterday, myself and my wife and my two kids did a live training out. And it was fun. And people loved it. So it's not necessarily always about the home workout, but it's what we bring together and posting something that we've done before. Because never in a million years would I ever thought, like, let's post a live video of me and my wife and my two boys training. And it was fun. So that's the positive thing that I see out of this COVID-19 is, just bringing people together, and the people that's going to support you and the people that loves what you do. That's the important thing. Like, this is what it's all about.
I wrote it. Oh yeah. So what I'm trying to do is, at the moment, I'm trying to do what you were saying now, like you think about where you want to go and what you want to do and what's important. So like some of the things that I've done differently, because obviously I said I'm stressed and I'm busy with everything, but also, like you said, like I take time out for myself. Like I can't be available for everyone all the time. So I'm a human being. And that's both internally with the business and to the clients and to friends and all that kind of shit. So one of the things that I've done is, like, with video editing, a huge thing for videos is sound design. And like I'm passionate about music, but I've never, or not even just music, but like music for my video. So like if we create a scene, like a gym scene of you coming in the gym, whatever, like I've always wanted to be able to create my own mood and tone for that video so that it perfectly matches the scene and I get to create the video, the audio. So what I've done is I've signed myself up to learn like Logic Pro, because I work on a Mac. So I'm going to learn how to do all of this in the background. And then another thing is, like, on my social media, I like intellectual conversation. So I don't generally, I always, when we met, my thing was that I was very passionate about YouTube, and I created this channel, and it was all centered around fitness, because at the time I wanted to compete and all that kind of stuff. And I've always been active. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of transitioned out of wanting everything to be channeled within fitness. Obviously, your brand is fitness. But for me, it's like I've always been passionate about creating content, and I create content for other people. But how, like, at what point do I start fueling my own desire to create content, or like create content that I'm passionate about, like, because it's me. So like, I'm not the greatest person in front of it. Well, I haven't been the greatest person in front of the camera, but one of the things I need to do in order to be better is to put myself in front of the camera. So you'll see, like, on my social media channels, I've started to create these little vlogs about my opinion on things.
Which is,
and I'm trying to,
how many people are doing that? So, and you've got the power and the ability to do those type of things, you know, and it's great.
So what you saw, I've created some stuff now. But what I said to Britt was that whenever I think of a question, because, you know, like when you go through your day, often things will pop up and it'll be a really interesting topic. But then when you think of like creating content, you're like, shit, what am I going to create content on? I can't think of an idea, and like, how am I going to structure this? But it's always in those random moments that you can create those things, or those things come to you. So what I do now is I just send the topic to Britt on WhatsApp. So she knows, like, just ignore the message. I'm not saying anything. But then for me to refer back to that, then when I'm thinking of a topic, I've already got it listed, like, as I'm going through my day. So the first one that I wrote, and it's something that I want you to talk about, because this is, I'd like to get your opinion on it. But my topic here was the algorithm, why I stopped caring.
Yeah. And that's definitely been there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So this is now for you to answer. So.
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is where it changed for me, and I was in a very fortunate position to get so many followers in a very short period of time. And, you know, I've been at the top of my game where whatever I posted, whatever I did, people engaged, and it went up to like 100,000 views, 100,000 likes, you know, getting 1,500 to 2,000 people that followed me in a day. It was surreal. Yeah. To getting almost 1 million followers, and like, I'm completely open book now, to 1 million followers, and it's been stagnated for 6 months, where I literally, I don't understand.
You went over 1 million when that,
over 1 million for, and just saying, so for everybody that's watching, my following is completely organic. I have never bought followers. I have never been part of a system that gets you followers. Like, everything that I've got is completely organic. So that was the biggest turn point for me, when everything changed this year, or maybe at the end of last year, to not caring about the algorithms anymore, because I've never wanted to be that person, although it affected me emotionally, you know, I mean, you of all people know, because I put a lot of energy into keeping up with what was happening in the social media world.
Well, we have to, because the business.
Yeah. And because of my sponsors and the people that I'm involved with.
Well, you've got to keep driving that.
Yeah, but like, I gave up on that because it's not worth it at the end of the day. And, you know, you might not get the same amount of likes or the same amount of engagement, but when you go in your insights, you know, there's still 50,000 to 60,000 people that see my posts. For me, that's fine now. But back in the day, you know, I was used to 500,000 people reach. But nonetheless, I think there's a lot of things that plays a part in why this is happening and where I'm placed in the world and whatnot. But it's definitely something that made me realize that if you put a lot of energy into focusing on that, you're gonna fucking go gray and grow bald and old and yeah. I think as long as you stay organic, I think there's still, like, from my side and how social media has changed, you know, there's a lot of people that really adds a lot more value to the quality of their content, which I probably did 2-3 years ago. But my life has changed. You know, I've got a family now and I've got kids, and what I put out there at the moment is the best that I could possibly do because of what my other responsibilities are in my life, to be honest.
Well, there's life being everything.
Yeah, it's called life. And there's people that put there's people that puts amazing content out there. They've got 500,000 followers, and the engagement is through the roof. But they're single and
they don't have a life.
I'm not saying they don't have a life. So don't get me wrong.
No. I'm saying they don't have anything else in their life.
They don't have anything else in their life that could occupy their attention.
That they're obligated
to, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like it's part of life, and it's that's where we are. But I do still believe that I've got the following, and my following is authentic, and there's still a lot of ways for me to improve my content, and which will still happen.
I think your big trouble is not just your content. So at the end of the day, we can create good content. I think the trouble is getting what's in here out there, because English isn't your first language, and there's a lot of other things going on. So there's very little time to put a proper strategy where we can put meat on the bone. And at the end of the day, we also need to take, your channels are, you've got a name, so you also can't just sort of open your door for everyone to come in.
Yeah,
you've got to create avenues.
I do still believe that I'm very well respected out there, because like I love complimenting younger athletes on the way they look, because I'm so passionate about this industry and about the sport. And no, everybody. And they get blown away when I send them a message. So, they all remember me, like they call me the OG, and I'm sure there's a lot of us. Yeah. So like people still know who I am out there. And that motivates me. So I just need to, in my own world, see how I can reinforce of what my powers are in the industry.
So when I was going back to, and it probably ties into where you need to be with your content or whatever, but what was it? The algorithm, why I stopped caring. So I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last year or two, everyone that we come into contact with, because obviously we run the agency, and everyone is fixated on growing their following, and they're all so caught up in the numbers that they forget why they're doing it in the first place. And I feel like at one stage we got lost in that, but obviously for a very short period of time, because of all the conversation that came in front of us, that sort of pushed us to hey, this is important. People are focused on this. And I think if I look back now, I'm I'm so tired of it. I said to Britt last night, I don't even care what I post on my Instagram. And obviously people like you, you don't have that luxury. But from where I'm sitting, and I look at it and I try to concept or rationalize why I feel this way. And it's because it's not purpose driven. It's not purpose driven. So people are creating content to feed some sort of an algorithm and get likes and stuff, but they're not creating content to add value, or they're not creating content.
And that's the thing. That's a good message that this conversation could be for a lot of upcoming athletes and influencers out there. It's harder now, and it's not impossible for them to get a good engagement. So that's what they should focus on. They shouldn't be focusing.
But the guys that are doing really well are the guys that are not fixated. They're not creating clickbaity shit. They tell good stories. And that's what social media is. It's a platform for you to share your personality.
And that should be their main focus.
If you're a business person, there are a million people that look good.
Everybody wants a following. And to get a following where myself and a lot of the top athletes that came out of the same era as I did, it's not going to be possible to get there anymore, unless you are magnificent and you are the next Andre, to be quite honest. Like, people like that are the people that's going to get to those levels. But nowadays, with the
they get
algorithms,
their credibility of others. So, and Andre is very good. Because obviously he's got the talent. He's got a beautiful physique in the fitness context. Because this is so much bigger than fitness. But like, if you look, he's coached by that. Was it Hani Rambod?
Yeah.
So these guys, it's a network, and then the next up and comers slot in from that network. It's not self-generated, but that's also not to say that people can't generate themselves. So like in MySpace, in like the photography sort of content creation space, where people are very interested in communicating how to be better at creating content and telling stories. A guy by the name of Peter McKinnon, a lot of people that will follow you might know him or whatever because he's become super famous. But I remember following that guy from when he was at like 50,000 followers. And I turned around to Britt and I was like, this guy is going to fucking fly. Like, he's just so likable. His stuff is brilliantly put together. It's crisp, it's clean, it's to the point. And within 6 months, he broke 1 million. I think it was 1 million. And now he's on like 4 million. And he did that completely self-made. Like, he didn't use anyone else. Like, he is himself. And now he's like boosted to the stratosphere because guys like Casey Neistat are on call with him, and Chris Howe and all the photographic guys are sort of like, they've created this community. So it's not, I don't think it's impossible, but he created content because he loves creating beautiful photography and beautiful videos. And he used his skills to tell the story of himself and how he sees things. And it resonated with people. And because it was so well done, like, it just catches on. And then the algorithm becomes, it's like secondary to the purpose. So the algorithm just gives it's like fuel to the fire. And he caught on, and he went viral, and now he's a thing. So I think it's not impossible, but I think people always do it for the wrong reasons. And literally, I can say that till I go blue in the face, but people operate with ill intent, always. They don't operate to fulfill themselves with the information they're putting out or to help others. They claim to help others, but whether they really do help others is a whole different story. And they generally just want people for them and look at me. But why must people look at you? There's 100 fucking other people like you. But that's...
No, that's very true. But like I said, like it does have an effect, the algorithm, on what the people, especially the newbies that wants to get into, the field, whatever field they are in. But, as long as you always be authentic and not try and copy what other people do out there, and just be yourself, there's a reason why we were, back in the day, we reached the heights that we did. To stay up there, it's the hard part.
Well, I think that also the downside to where we are with you is your age, bro. Like, all the OG guys, like from the 2013, 2012.
I think I carry my age pretty well. Thank you.
No, you carry your age well, but think of like these young guys that we're seeing all the time. Like they
think that you've got 1 million followers just in the last year. I mean, it's been a process. It's been 8 years now. It's not something that's just happened overnight. I mean, there's a long process.
But also, you got a lot because of the role you played in the industry at the time. So it's not just like you got followers. You a unique physique at a time when those physiques were not around. Social media was just becoming a thing, and you were one of the first adopters. And you networked with the right people. You were seen in the right places, and you put yourself in the right position. You also have a lot of accolades. A lot of people don't understand. You were like the Mr. South Africa you were the runner-up, and then you actually had the title when they gave it to you throughout that year, I think. And then you've had a lot of PR and stuff done, which a lot of people don't think of. They think PR, like, it's an old thing. Like, no, you put yourself, like, you were on TV, like Top Billing and a whole lot of things.
Ciaran, there was a lot of shows. So, I mean, a lot of my successes came before the fitness industry.
That's what
putting me on a pedestal. When I entered the fitness industry, I was actually very fortunate because of what I've already achieved before that. And that just elevated and boosted my following massively.
Got a lovely singing voice. Oh.
But yeah, if the people want to go see me singing, you can go on YouTube and just say Jaco singing.
They might not recognize you though, because you're like, the balls haven't dropped.
You're like skinny, and I had bell bottoms on and pointy shoes.
Yeah, that was in fashion. Those square toes.
Oh my god. Yeah, but
What was
anyway,
that? Seoul, Korea.
yeah, I think it was a nice little chat with you. I enjoyed that. I'm going to do more of this in the weeks to come. I've got 2 exciting podcasts happening this week.
I'll edit them.
You will. But yeah, it was a good chat. I think a lot of people will find a bit of positivity in here. It's not over yet. It's just a little hurdle and a challenge that we all have to go through. And like I've mentioned again, all of us, it's not, I think even the richest people, they're probably not they're a bit more fortunate, but they're all going to go through struggles. That's for sure.
Actually, that was just going back to that quickly. Sorry, before we go off, like the banks and stuff are focused on like the poor of the poor in terms of these grants, and the banks are looking at like the poor guys, although the guys are in good standing and whatever, and they create these brackets. People often forget that the rich people are like in a bit of a pickle because they also require cash flow to run their big businesses. And when the cash dries up, their businesses are gone just as much as anyone else. So this is everybody. Yeah. Okay,
but let's hope this humbles the world. And I think
I'm eating a piece of humble pie every fucking day now. So while I eat my chocolate, I can't avoid the fruit.
Yeah. Cool, bro. Thank you so much. We'll do more of that. And have a good evening and look after your beautiful wife. And we'll chat again.
Smooches.
Ciao.
Ciao.